Thank you, everyone, for joining today's live podcast, where I will be showing you how to change your life for good. I'm going to tell you a story I once heard. It's simple, but very powerful. A man was walking through a quiet neighborhood one afternoon. As he passed a small house with a wooden porch, he noticed an old dog lying there. The dog let out a low, miserable moan every few seconds. Not loud, just long enough to catch the man's attention. He paused and looked up at the porch. Sitting next to the dog in a rocking chair was the dog's owner, slowly sipping his coffee, unfazed. Curious, the man asked, "Excuse me, sir, why is your dog moaning like that?" The old man looked up, calm as ever, and said, "Oh, him? He's just lying on a nail." Surprised, the man asked, "Lying on a nail? Well, why doesn't he get up?" The old man took another sip of his coffee and said, "Because it's not hurting him bad enough yet." So here's the lesson. When the pain of staying the same becomes greater than your comfort, you must change. You know what? And unfortunately, so many of us are that dog. We complain, we groan, we feel stuck. We say we're tired of the job we hate, the relationship that drains us, the dream we keep pushing off. We say we're done. We say we want change, but we stay right there, lying on the nail, because the pain isn't bad enough yet. You see, change doesn't happen when you're comfortable. Change happens when the pain of staying the same finally becomes greater than the fear of doing something different. We wait for some external push, a breakup, maybe a breakdown, a diagnosis, but deep down we already know what we need to do. We're just hoping we can get by without doing it. But life doesn't reward the moan, it rewards your move. The moment you decide to rise, when you finally say, "I have had enough," when the weight of staying small feels heavier than the fear of standing tall, that's when the things will shift. That is when your life will shift. That's when you get off that nail. That's when you stop settling and start becoming. That's when you stop waiting to be rescued and become your own rescue. So, my friends, you need to ask yourself this today. Where in my life am I laying on that nail? Where am I uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to act? And most importantly, what would it look like if I got up? Because here's the truth of it all. You don't have to wait until it hurts more. You can move now. Listen, your greatest transformations may begin with a whisper, maybe a quiet voice inside your head that says, "There's more to life than this." I know we must have all heard it before a time or two, but it's time to stop and listen. Listen to what your mind is telling you, because if we ignore those voices long enough, those whispers will begin to turn into screams out of desperation, heartbreak, burnout, regret. You know what that is? That's your universe, the universe in itself saying, it's time to go, it's time to do it. Enough is enough. Because you weren't meant to just exist. You were meant to live with intention, with purpose, with fire. And when you get tired of the pain, when the pain of staying stuck is greater than the fear of change, that's when you're going to rise. So you need to ask yourself this: is this best version of your life? Is it? Or is there something better calling your name out there? You know, forging a new path, it starts with a decision, not a perfect plan, not certainty, just a decision. It's so simple. I'm done settling. I'm done. From there, you take the first step forward, then on to another, and on to another. And guess what? The momentum begins to kick in. And here's how to begin. Number one, you need to get clear with what you want. Our friend Tom Cruise said that recently. If you want to achieve something amazing in life, just start with a list of goals on how to get there. Look at him. He followed that practice, and now look at him today. You're no different than any of these people who have made it. What you need to do is you need to get real and clear about what you want. Begin writing it down, speaking it out loud, and make it real. Cut the noise. You don't need 10 opinions out there. You just need one, your vision. So make a daily promise to yourself. Even if it's something small, wake up early, go for a walk, read 10 pages of a book, any book. Confidence grows when you keep your word to you, that promise. Accept that discomfort is a part of it. Growth will stretch you because it's supposed to. That is how you level up in life. Every strong, beautiful, fulfilling life you see was just an idea at some point. And you know what? Somebody out there had to choose it before it existed, and you can do that too. And here's the beautiful part. Here are the rewards. When you choose to change your life, it's not just about reaching goals. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. You start to trust your intuition, set better boundaries, attract people who match your energy, walk taller, speak clearer, live a little louder, and one day you look back and say, that was the moment I turned it all around. And it won't be luck, it'll be you choosing to walk away from what no longer served you. And then you'll be forging your own pathway. So this is your reminder. You aren't stuck. You are choosing, and you can choose differently starting today. Listen, here's another great story that'll reinforce everything I'm speaking to you about. Your efforts to change your life for the better. This is about a man named Elijah. Elijah was in his early 30s, living in a small apartment on the edge of a city, but it never felt like home. From the outside, his life was fine. He had a job in technology, paid his bills, woke up early, answered emails, came home, watched a little Netflix, scrolled on some Instagram, slept, repeat. But inside, Elijah was numb. Elijah used to dream big. He wanted to start his business, maybe travel the world, and write a book. But you know that those dreams of his had faded into the background noise of maybe someday. So one rainy Tuesday, Elijah was waiting for the train. It was late. He was soaking wet, tired, and frustrated. And for no dramatic reason, no tragedy or big moment, something inside him just broke. But not in a destructive way. It was that quiet whisper that said, this can't be my life. This can't be it. There has to be more. That night, he sat on his couch, turned off the TV, and stared at the ceiling. And for the first time in years, he asked himself a hard question. Am I living or am I just surviving? You know, and that single question was the beginning of everything. He didn't move mountains the next day. He didn't quit his job or sell everything he owned, but he made a decision, one small, quiet, revolutionary decision to change one thing. Listen, just one thing. He started with a morning walk. Every morning before work, 15 minutes he would spend just walking. No music, no phone, just him and his thoughts. You know, and he hated it at first, but after a few weeks, his thoughts got clearer. He started journaling. He started picking up a book on entrepreneurship. Then he reached out to an old friend who once told him, "You're meant for more." Oh, he couldn't believe it. Little by little, Elijah built momentum. He enrolled in a course. Then he began to budget, saving money. You see where this is heading, right? Elijah started building a side business, helping small brands with digital strategies. You know what? And it wasn't easy, but for the first time in years, Elijah felt alive. Now, Let's fast forward 2 years later. Elijah runs his own creative agency. He still works hard, but you know what? Now it's on his terms. And you know what else he's done? He's traveled to 6 different countries. You know, and most of all, Elijah's proud of himself. And it all started with one decision. I'm not staying here. I've had it. I'm going to make the change. You see, that kind of transformation doesn't always begin with fireworks. It starts in the quiet, in a moment of honesty, a moment where you say, this version of me was necessary, but it's not the only version I'm capable of becoming. We all get too comfortable with survival, with good enough, but good enough will rob you of what you could or can be. Survival. Think about it. It's not good enough. You need to not let it rob you of what you could be. Your life can be amazing, but it's built brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you have to be willing to say, I'm done shrinking. I'm done waiting. I choose better. If you've been waiting for the right moment to change, my friends, this is your sign. You don't have to burn everything down, but to shift, to take one small step. Maybe it's starting the journal. Maybe it's unfollowing the noise. Maybe it's just telling yourself, I deserve better than this. So whatever it is, make that decision because your life will not change. I repeat, your life will not change until you do. So whether you're at the beginning or somewhere along the way, keep walking, keep building, keep becoming. Your future self is standing there and saying, I'm already proud of you. Just keep going. Everyone, I'm so grateful that you were able to join me today. And I want to give a special thanks to Les Brown for his wisdom and story about the dog and the nail. I met him years ago. What an inspiration he is. And I just, again, want to thank him for letting me use his story about the dog and the nail. So listen, if this inspired you, share it, subscribe, and come back this week, maybe tomorrow. We'll do another podcast on more bold truths and practical mindsets. Until then, go build the life you were born to live. Bye-bye.